Welcome back to Horse Racing Today for Money Monday with yours truly, HRT Rich, over on Twitter. And then, of course, to my left on the screen, terrific Terry Hollywood. Hey, how was your weekend, Terry?
It was good. Yeah, very good. Very hot, though. It was like 100 degrees or more most places around here. But other than that, it was okay.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little hundos. We
No.
want to see those speed figures around 100. I don't mind the warm temperature. Head to the lake or to some body of water to cool off a bit, right?
Yeah, just be careful there on that Florida coast and that up there by New York. I guess a lot of riptides and a lot of people are drowning. So you need to be careful.
Yeah, well, I mean, you always have to be careful when you're in the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, riptides or not, people are unfortunately put themselves in a bad spot in the water at times.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you paid attention to our Ascot picks last week. We had a lot of fun with that. Yeah, I had a nice exacta on Saturday to end it out with the $216 with the first and third pick. First pick won. That was nice. Built me horse for the course. I mean, Tom and I were laughing about it, but worked out pretty well on that. Of course, this weekend on Friday, Tom and I for Foreign Fridays, as we mentioned, we'll be doing the Curragh in Ireland, where all of the horses were winning at Ascot. That was I think the key to the whole Ascot thing. And I saw on Wednesday that Ireland, saw that was on Tuesday as well. Ireland. And I basically just handicapped the Irish horses after that and left everything else out. And it turned out to be okay to do that.
That's good.
No Irish horses on the card today, Terry, but there are some free picks as usual available at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. A link in the description down below. If you're watching on Twitter, I'm sorry. I know I put the 23rd on the first, I don't know what you call it, like the graphic. And then I realized it was the 24th. I went back and changed it on YouTube and Facebook. We're still not live on Facebook because of our sexually explicit content, whatever that was. But today's free track it wasn't either. It's just a recap of a winning horse, Thistledown. So make sure you click on that. And of course, when our show is over, Terry and I will post all of our picks on horseracingtoday.net. A link in the description down there with all of our thoughts. And while you're there, kindly hit on the HRT gear. After collecting a $256 or $59, two of them in the course of the meet at Ascot, get yourself a Horse Racing Today hat to support us, to show everybody else where you got the money to buy it. What about that, Terry?
That sounds great.
You know what else sounds great? Doing Parx racing on a Monday like we always do. It's as difficult, if not more difficult, than Ascot, Terry. You can't just pick out the Irish horses. So what's happening in race number one?
Well, it's 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a $7,500 claiming race, purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
We got a long day of racing today, too. 11 races at Parx.
Yeah.
1 mile and 70 yards, $170. The profile of a winner does favor horses with early speed, a whole bunch. 42 out of 100 go gate to wire. That's a pretty fat number right there, folks. A little bit of a rail penalty for Baton. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 a small discount. 8 and out also a little bit of an edge. We do 10,000 simulations around here when we want to see which horses have the best chance to get to the lead. And then we put in the 1,000 races how many times our horse got the lead. Based upon our projected pace in those races, we want to see which horses will be sitting in their comfort zone. Races that mirror their best performances. We have a par plus score, another 10,000 simulations where we generate a projected speed figure in 1,920 times. Baton produced a speed figure of at least 81, no other with such achievements. And then simulation odds, we calculate how many times our horse would have won the race, create our odds. We're looking for horses whose post-time odds are higher than our simulation odds. That's value. Terry, do you see any value in the speed?
Yeah, there's actually several of those horses have speed, all but a couple of them, but there's 3 that have the main speed. The 2 has the most, followed up by the 9 and then the 1. And then the 1 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from 10 to 1 to 12 to 1. And the 9 has an overlay from about almost 5 to 1 to 12 to 1. The only par plus number is the 1. And all but the 3 and 6 show pretty darn decent C zones except for that 8.
Yeah, despite that rail penalty, the 1 coming in as a borderline green go. Green, and overlay across the top line there. Along with simulations, we do a little bit of trip handicapping as well as pace projections. See the one horse over here is a potential lone E. Everybody's looking for him. Look out if the one gets to the lead. 9 horse wants the pressure, but the majority of this field wants to be middle back. So forward speed should be the place to be. Again, 42% going wire to wire. Early on, Trophy Room. That one is by far the quickest. It's also a left arrow horse in there, Terry. It means a closer with enough early speed to be involved as the race gets started. At the end of the race, we're looking at Predominate, the 7 horse, the strongest of the closers. Every 5 points represents about 1 length on the early pace and on the late pace. So more than a late length better than everybody else at the end. Our top total pace horse here is Trophy Room, Terry. 6 points clear of Baton on that rail. We both have that 1 up front. Neither one of us has that 6. We might reconsider that.
Yeah, that's true. It looked like we maybe should have paid attention to those data. But anyway, I like the 1 Baton. Has a highest speed figure at today's distance. He takes a major drop in class today and has a trainer wins 39% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. Madison Loves Duke is the 4, is my second choice, drops down 2+ classes as well. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then 5, Uncle Waterflow, third choice, has won 1 race out of 2 starts at Parx Racing, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. The 8 is my long shot. Imagine this. Won his last race at Parx Racing, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. What we do is we have a $100 budget, and we play $2 to win on our first choice, a $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices. And depending on how many races there are, there's 11 races today, so we only have about $8 or $7 to bet, other than what the normal bets are each race.
Yeah, because we go to the track with Benjamin Franklin for sure. You started with the 1. I'm going to start with the 1, too. That one, Baton, has the most back class, drops in class in here, Terry. Number 5, Uncle Waterflow. This horse is going to go back to a level where he won with ease. Number 7, Predominate. This one also dropping in class. Does have that late speed that we saw in our pace handicapping, but also improved in the early part of the race. So if you can combine A plus B equals C, I know that's the Pythagorean theorem, the only thing I remember from geometry class. And then finally, number 9, Roman Empire, probably the most consistent performer in the field. Next up for me would have been Trophy Room. That would have been my next pick. So if there's a scratch before the first race, maybe think about putting Trophy Room in there. It's actually right now Trophy Room, that top total pace horse, is 12 to 1. So maybe some value in that guy. Race number 2. Terry, let's talk. Oh, that's not what I want to press. Race number 2 is what I want to press. So tell us about the conditions here.
Okay, we're shortening up to 6 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. At first, $21,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
Yeah, and in order to get that 4th W, Terry, horses need to have some tactical speed, but a bunch still. 36% of the time, they get to the lead, they keep the lead, and go right into the winner's circle as a wire-to-wire type. There's a rail bonus this time for Old Head. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and out. Get a small discount, all very similar in that respect. So, Terry, again, early speed should be useful in the 2nd spot, and it looks like one of them has a bunch of it.
Oh, yeah, the 4. And all the other speed, most of the other speed has been scratched out. So the 4 should get to that quarter pole first. That 1 has an overlay from even money to 7 to 2. And the 4 has an overlay from, let's see, about 8 to 5 to 5 to 2. 1, 6, and 4 show the only, 6 is scratched, so it doesn't matter. 1 and 4 shows the only par plus numbers. And then all but the 3 have C zones.
Yes, and we have another green goat horse here. Green, green, green. In this case, top total, top 2nd pace in C zone, gonna be your pace setter. 2nd place in par plus, and 2nd in terms of the simulation favorite. Our trip handicapping shows that nobody really is lead dependent here, though the 4 horse can be on the lead or pressure. The 5 horse does want to sit in that co-pilot seat. The 1 horse with some versatility as a PC type. Most of these horses middle back again, so early speed should have an edge in terms of the race style. And She's a Lino. That one is more than a length faster than Old Head. At the end of the race, it does look like Bella Maria, which is probably going to be maybe a length and a half, 2 lengths off the lead, has a little bit more, about a 2-length advantage at the end of the race. So if Bella Maria can scoot up with the front runners and not go too fast, have a decent shot to perform at the end. And then She's a Lino, more than a length quicker than everybody else. And here you have these, all of them in there are, really close battle for second. So maybe She's a Lino and then all on your exactas. Terry, we both think the 4 horse is going to score here.
Yeah, that She's a Lino won her last race at Parx Racing, has the best dirt speed among today's starters. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The one Old Head likes Parx Racing, been in the money 62% of the time and win 19% of the races there, and has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 30% of the races when dropping a horse after claiming a horse. And then the 3 Bella Maria is my third choice. She finished third versus similar in her last race. And she has a, and at today's distance won't be a problem. And then the 5 is Annika is she drops in class today as my long shot. So I'm going to play Don Johnson, Miami Vice, pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-4 with the 1-2-4-5-6 with the 1-6 with the 1-2-4-5-7. That should be a $50 exacta. I mean, pick 4.
I'm going to believe in the 4 horse too here, Terry. She's a Lino, does have all that early speed, drops in class, and more likely than not to be better today in the second start after a layoff. Number 1, Old Head, drops to the lowest level in its last 9 races. So when it raced at this level, didn't win back then either. Is going to catch a weight break in the third start after a layoff, that most classic basic handicapping angle. Number 5, Anka, does have 2 maintenance workouts between races. Just missed in his last race after getting some rest. So coming off the bench should do all right. And then finally, Bella Maria is my 4th choice in here. Terry, I feel like the horse can compete, as we saw in the total pace scenario, and then maybe try to close the race out at the end. I think the 4 horse gets to the lead, hangs on to the lead, never gives up the lead, and wins this race wire to wire. So I singled it in my pick 4. Then I went 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4. That should be 6, 7, not 7, 6. And then 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think that ticket worked out to $40 if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, but I know it was under 50, which is our budget. Race number 3 is what we will do next, Terry. So tell us about that one.
Okay, it's 4.5 furlongs, maiden, $42,000 purse for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
Yeah, so 16 times 5. Yeah, I think, I don't know, $45 maybe is what it works out to be. So 4.5 furlongs, Terry. They haven't really run any races, so we don't have a profile of a winner. None of these horses have run any races, so we don't have any simulations. That means the only thing we have are picks. So why don't you get us started with yours?
Okay, I like that 4 is my top pick, Maximus Angeluska, whatever. She is a first-time starter whose sire wins 16% of the time with first-time starters. Her dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Exhale is 6, a second choice first-time starter as well, whose breeding suits today's distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 2 first-time starter, whose sire wins 16% of the first-time starters. And the dam has 3 winners from 5 starters, and she's got a high percentage winning trainer. And the 5 Hollywood Beauty is a first-time starter whose sires win 20% of the time with first-time starters. Her dam has 6 winners from 9 starters, and one of them was a stakes winner, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. She's my long shot. No additional bets for me here.
Well, for me, with first-time starters, I have a 3-point grade. I rank them from the top to the bottom of the 3-point grade. 4 horse scored the most points. That one got 2.6 out of 3. Next up for me is the 2 horse. We got to go to the right race there. The 2 horse. Come on, Richard. Let's go. Mischief Maxi. Mischief Maxi getting 2.5 points. Next up for me is the 3-horse, Bitcoin Baby. And who doesn't wish they owned a little Bitcoin Baby? That one going 2.5 out of 3. And then finally, the 5-horse, Hollywood Beauty. That one, man, I got to press the right button, getting 2.55 out of there. So maybe that one should be ranked a little higher, right? I'm not sure. I think it should be ranked second. So yeah, it should be second. So I put them a little bit out of order. I missed that half a point. So it should go 4, 5, 2, 3. Let me go back and correct that. 4, 5, tab 2 and 3. Put a little bit of black ink in that one so it reflects. Doesn't change my pick 4 at all or any of my picks. So no additional bets for me in race number 3 as well, Terry, because we just don't know what's going to happen in that spot. We have 1 minute to go to race number 1. So let's go ahead and see where they are in the track. They're kind of walking around, getting close to loading into the gate, it looks like, Mr. Terry. Let's look at the odds for the opening race, see who the bettors are backing. Does look like the 1-horse right now, Baton, is your favorite. 2-to-1 odds. So we're still getting a little bit of value relative to our simulation odds. 2-horse, really, they're running away from that one. The 3-horse, Forever Wild, or Wicked, excuse me. Almost that one confused with our old co-host, or she's young, but she used to be co-host, Jamie Martinez. Number 4, Madison Duke, 3-to-1, a little bit of a underlay with that one because our odds say it should be closer to 6-to-1. The 5-horse at 5-to-2, your second choice. Again, a little bit of a underlay because our odds should be closer to 10-to-1. Do we have anybody out here? Looks like the 9-horse, Roman Empire, and the 1. So maybe a nice 1-9 exacta if you're looking for value. That might be the way to go because the 9 offering up from 5-to-1 to 8-to-1 odds. Also, the 1-horse that we both left off there, that 6-horse Trophy Room, 11-to-1. Maybe not the best of odds because we see it should be around 17-to-1. See, are they starting to load in there, Terry? They are indeed. They're almost loaded up, ready to go. For the voice of Jessica Paquette, who will make the race call, they're in Ben Salem, Pennsylvania, on what looks kind of like a gray day. I don't see a lot of shadows. So I wonder if rain might be coming there.
Could be.
I think we're waiting on the 8 and the 9, and then away they go. So again, the 1 and the 9 offering the most value in this race. The 8-horse kind of reluctant to load. They got the gate open. They're trying to coax it in there, but it's not being cooperative. So imagine this. Couldn't imagine getting into that gate. Now they got him in there. They showed him the other horse, and then he walked up to it. So he was glad to see some company. And then finally, the 9-horse. So we begin a new week. Horse racing on horseracingtoday.net. If you haven't followed me on HRT at HRT Rich at Twitter, kindly go do so. And they're off and running. And the 2-horse, the one we said would get to the lead, broke very sharply. That 6-horse, the one that for whatever reason we both left off our tickets, also broke nicely. Trophy Room getting to the lead, though the 2-horse keeping him honest and 2 paths wide. My 9-horse might have a little bit of a struggle over there, running 3 wide through the first turn. Never really a big fan of that at all. The 6-horse, Trophy Room, at 20-to-1. Our top total pace horse is your pace setter. The 9-horse, Roman Empire, sitting about 3/4 of a length off that horse. And second, the 2-horse, Smart Humor, the early leader on the rail now, and third. Opening quarter on 24-1, not the fastest of opening quarters. The 5-horse, Uncle Waterflow, right in there too. So you got about you got maybe 6 horses from the nose of the 6 to the tail of the 7. The 3 and the 1 are way, way back. So the 1's going to have a lot. No, that's not the 1. That's the 8-horse. The 1 is at 4th right now.
The 8, I think, way back.
Mm-hmm. So down around the corner they go on their way home. Right now, the 9-horse looks like it's moving the best. And he's headed the 6-horse. The 1-horse is in 3rd, I think. I don't know. He's in 4th, it looks like. Now he ain't got a shot. He's going straight backwards. Here comes the 5-horse. That one looks like it's going to round its way past the 6-horse and perhaps get into second, although the 1-horse is now finding his legs a little bit late. So he might be able to work his way around the 6. I don't know if he will or he won't, but it looks like he's going to. So it's going to go 9, then the 1, then the 5, And then who's going to make their way? Can they get by the 6 at the end here? 9, 1, 5, 4. 9, 1, 5, and 4. I did mention that the value looked like it was on the 9 and the 1, and to do an exacta box in there might be the thing to do. And that's the way it played out, Terry, at 5-1 over 1-1. So you got a $12 winner. Should be a decent exacta.
Should be, yeah.
The 7 came second. That was the 7. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that is the 7.
So that's still a pretty nice exacta right in there, right?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was the 1? I think I was just looking at the screen what they were showing on the.
The 1.
9, 7, 5. Yeah, the 1 didn't fire at all, did he? No, there he comes.
To last.
So 9, 7, and 5. All right, well, the trifecta in there. So I wish I would have had him. That's going to be a nice trifecta, too. Should have just boxed that one as the opener. All right. What race are we on now, Terry?
Number 4.
Race number 4. So let's go ahead and talk about the conditions for the 4th race.
Okay, it's a mile. It's an optional claiming race, and it's purse $50,000. It's for 3-year-olds. First of all, it's $75,000 claiming if you decide to put your horse in there to claim. The purse is $50,000 for 3-year-olds which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming prices of $75,000.
And if like Scary Creations or Don Johnson or Alexander Martinez or Enrique Martinez, the Martinez folks joining us today, if you have some questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions, picks, anything, just let us know in the comment section. I'm sure Scary will have some good bets to pay attention to a little bit later on in the show as well. He always has some insightful thoughts. In race number 4, what we're looking for at a mile is tactical speed, but still be middle forward, because damn near 50% of the horses win wire to wire at 46%. There is a rail bonus for Motskari. And then 2 and 3, they play fair. 4 through 7, a big discount. 8 and out is the very best place to be. Again, Terry, almost 1 out of 2 going wire to wire in race 4. So perhaps everybody but the 3 with a chance to make that trip.
That's right. That's what you said. That's exactly right. But the 4 shows the most speed. So if it's got no problems getting out of that gate and getting that first turn, it probably could get that quarter pole first. And then the 2 has a small overlay from 7.5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from about almost 3 to 1 to 8 to 1. And the 7 has an overlay from 6 to 5 to 7 to 2. 3 shows the only par plus number, and all of them show some kind of C zone, although that 5 is pretty low.
Yeah, my internet, folks, just as a heads up, it's being a little bit funky. It's showing a low signal. It's kind of coming in and out. I paid the bill. So I don't understand why the signal is always kind of choppy. But in any case, if you're joining us for the first time on Twitter, kindly follow us there if you haven't done so already. If you're watching on YouTube, thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Any sort of interaction, if you're watching on Twitter, retweeting also helps us with the algorithm. So boosts us up the rankings and helps us out a lot. So we greatly appreciate any help in that respect. Our race trip handicapping for the 4th race, excuse me. So we look at race 3 with all those first-time starters. Most of this field wants to be middle forward. The 1 and the 3 with some versatility as your pressure closer types, but really they can be anywhere on the track. Speed, perhaps the way to go. That's the case. Then Mascadoo is a little bit quicker than Just Step on It. It was a little bit quicker than Grated Coconut. It was a little bit quicker than Bet the Line, although I would expect the 2 and the 4 being on the inside because there's not a big differential to have the edge early on. As we come down the stretch for home, Motskari, Eddie W., the 2 PC types, a little bit more late speed than the 6. Cat Tire Vizcaya. All right, our top total pace horse, and here is the 7, the speed burner, Mascadoo, although he's going to have a lot of early pace pressure, but he is a length better than everybody else. Terry, who's your winner?
Well, I like Mascascara, the 1. He finished in the money in the last 4 starts. He won 2 of those races. Rel Post is winning 22% clip band. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 6 is my second choice. Won his last race, switches to a high percentage winning jockey. He has a high percentage winning trainer. Mascadoo, the 7, is my third choice. Finished third in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back to race. Again, he's got a good workout on June 14th. And then the 3, Eddie W, is my third or long shot. He won 2 out of the last 3 races at Parx Racing, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. My second, Don Johnson, Miami Vice pick 4 is the 1-3-6-7 with the 1-2-4-5-7. I'm going to single the 5, and then I'm going to finish up with a 1-3-4-5-6. That should be a $50 exacta.
All right, I'm going to start with
pick 4.
Right, yeah, pick 4. Yeah, I'm going to start with the 4 horse. Just step on it. This horse is the only one so far with a par score for this level at this racetrack. And he won at this level before. So just to run back to that race makes the 4 horse Just Step on It the winner. Probably your pace setter in here too. Mascadoo only running its second race at the Parx track. The last Parx race was probably good enough to beat everybody based upon their most recent performances. Number 3, Eddie W, is the third choice for me. His best work's getting ready ever for the second start after a layoff. The only time this horse has run at a mile, he won that race. And then finally, number 6, Cat Tire Vizcaya Track Dropper with Paco Lopez riding. And Paco, when he runs at Parx, he wins more than his fair share of races for certain. I think this race is a little open. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 6, 7 over the 1, 4, 5, over the 2, 4, 5, over the 4, 6. I probably should put a 4th horse in there somewhere because I have a little bit of a budget left with only the 4, 6 on the back end. I don't know what race I want to do that in. Let me look and see real quick. Race 4, 3. I already got 4 there. Race 5, race 6. Well, I can't do it in race 6 because that's the 2 and the 4, right? 4, 5. Yeah, I can do it in that one. I'm going to put the 6 horse in the back leg here. 2, 4, 5, and 6 to maximize my $50 budget. The folks on TVG get 60. We only get 50 because we feel like we can do just as well with $10 less, right, Terry?
That's right.
You like the 4 horse, some in race 4, but I'm afraid Paco is going to outbreak Haddock. Well, yeah, that's probably pretty true. Paco certainly is an aggressive rider for sure, but I also think he's good at pacing his horses as well. If he feels like I think that clock in his head is exceptional. If only the other parts of what goes on upstairs were exceptional, I think you'd see Paco riding in a lot of big races for sure, right?
Yeah.
That is standing up with a 16th of a mile to go because he thinks he has the race won, and then only to see somebody almost close him out. Terry, tell us about what they're racing for in race number 5.
All right, 6 furlongs, claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, purse $18,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since December 24th.
And 6 furlongs, we mentioned a little bit earlier, tactical speed, a pretty good way to go about getting to the winner's circle, but still a bunch. More than 1 out of 3 winning wire to wire. Is a rail bonus for Rolls, Royce, Joyce. 2 and 3, they play fair. 4 through 7, 4 through out. 4 and out. A little bit of a discount, not deal killers, but still got to work a little bit harder than the rest to win. Terry, who's going to work the hardest when the gates open?
Well, there's several horses with speeds in there, but the 3, 4, 8, and 7 shows the most. Really anybody's guess who gets that quarter pole first. And that one has an overlay from about, what is that?
1 to 1.
1 to 1, yeah, to 7 to 2. And the 5 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 5 to 1. The 1 and the 5 show the only par plus numbers. All but the 2 and 6 have C zones, and most of them are pretty good except for that 5.
And then as we take a look at our race shape, pretty balanced in here. You got a couple of Sesame Street horses in the 8 horse, Wishing on a Prayer, and the 4 horse, Shackleford Country, as the 2 Sesame Street horses, and both versatile because they can be co-pilot or pilot, and 4 can really be anywhere. So no matter what they look like in the past performances, you really do have to keep your eye on those 2. At the beginning of the race, Bahama Pearl, a little bit faster than Shackleford Country. So the 7 horse, the Pressure, the 4 horse, the PC type. As far as the front runners, Awesome Pal, a little bit of an edge over the Rick James horse. She's a Super Freak. but still really not a big difference between any of them up front early. So a stumble, a little bit of a misstep, a little bit of a bump could be the difference between hitting the gates first or hitting the gates fifth or sixth. At the end of the race, Terry, let's take a look at who will have the most late speed. Peace, Love, and Karma. That one's almost 3 lengths quicker than everybody else down the stretch, but look at that early speed, going to be way off the pace. So that one will really have to work hard or hope there's a speed melt up to take advantage of those late legs. Rolls Royce Joyce, a little bit better than Awesome Pal. A little bit of a drop off to Sense a Million and Bahama Pearl, and then a little bit of a drop off again. Competitive race, at least as it looks for these horses here, Terry. Which one of those is your winner?
All right. In this race here, I like the 7 Bahama Pearl. She finished third versus similar. Last race has a high percentage winning trainer. They added blinkers today to keep her mind on business. Then Peace, Love, and Karma, the 2's my second choice. Drops in class, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 1 Rolls Royce Joyce is my third choice. She likes Parx racing. She's been in the money 63% of her starts here, won 10% of those, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Shackelford County is my long shot, the 4th. She has a high speed figure at today's distance. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's stars, and she has a good workout on June 15th. No additional bets here for me.
What's interesting is the 1 horse, the 9 horse, Lulinda's Heart. 1-to-1 morning line odd. And I'm just really curious if anybody has any thoughts on why that one's the 1-to-1. I mean, is there something at the track that we're missing? Some workouts, perhaps some chatter? If anybody has any insight on why that one was 1-to-1 and left off of both of our tickets. I almost thought about just putting it on there because the odds didn't make sense to me considering the back performances, and I'm just curious if there's something we missed completely. As far as me, I'm looking at the 1 horse, ran at this level just a couple of races ago and missed just by a nose. Number 5, Awesome Pal is my second choice in here. Ran some similar fractions last time out at 6.5 furlongs. Is the prior start at 6 furlongs. Going back to 6 furlongs is useful. Number 4, Shackelford County, the third selection. Maybe the best record in the field, is a 9-year-old. The last couple of races showed a lack of interest, but a recent workout suggests that maybe Shackelford's lights will come back on. And then finally, your top pick, my 4th pick, Bahama Pearl, should be forward. I think that's a good place to be, but really performs well at Parx 8 times out, but none of them ending up in the winner's circle, but 3 of them ending up in the second place finish and another 3 in the third place finish. So just another horse that likes to let other ones beat it to the finish line, but just make enough money to still be well fed. Gary says, I said the same thing to myself about the 9 horse. Yeah, I was just wondering about that. Just didn't make any sense to me whatsoever at all. Odds that don't make sense can mean insight. That's what I was wondering too.
But the only problem with that is the odds maker is supposed to set what he thinks the public's going to make the favorite, not what inside information says.
Well, 9 is dropping, but the trainer does not win high enough clip for me to take a horse with 4 wins. Yeah, 1 win in 2 years. No, thanks. I agree. There has to be something that had that. I don't know who the line maker is at Parx, but there has to be something that they saw. Something merits a 1-to-1 morning line. That there's something out there that they feel the bettors are going to see that you and I apparently and everybody else, Terry, just completely missed. So hopefully we're right and the line maker is wrong, because it looks like the 9's not going to get a lot of love. And the 6th race, is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
If the live odds drop even more, yeah, I'd be careful too. If you see that horse go down to like 3 to 5 or something like that, there's some news out there that we're all missing and people on the inside aren't missing, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I hope the betting public pounds it. Yeah. Well, that's true too. It's that late money you got to pay attention to, though, right? When the syndicates come in with a minute left to post and you see someone's horse's odds just go oof, because that's what their models are telling them. All right, Terry, tell us about race number 6.
All right, it's a mile. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price. Purse $21,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And a mile, as we mentioned a little bit earlier in the race card today, tactical speed, but really a lot of them win wire to wire. It's one complete trip around the Pennsylvania track. The start line and the finish line are the same. They come around. So maybe that early speed gets the edge because that turn comes so quickly. So get to that turn and you get to control the race. There is a rail bonus for Jay's Delight if it has the pace to get there. 2 and 3 play fair. Big time discount between 4, 5, 6, and 7. But really, the best place to be is 8 and out, probably because if they're fast enough to get to the front, then they can clear and win. But if they're not, they're able to save some ground and come from off the pace. Terry, in race number 6, with speed being a supreme factor, looks like everyone's got a chance to get to the lead, but 2 of them probably set the tone.
Yeah, all but that 7 shows some kind of speed, but the 3 and 4 are very similar in their speed. So they could go head to head to that quarter pole. And the 2 has an overlay from 8-5 to 4-1. The 5, 2, and 4 show par plus numbers, and all of the horses have C zones.
So again, if you're new, just to kind of rehash what some of these numbers mean. Par plus, we do 10,000 simulations where we project out a speed figure. So 2,160 times Carnivore, the meat eater. That one ran a speed figure of 79 or better. That is the Brisnet average speed figure for the conditions today. And then our comfort zone in our projected early pace, we go back and match that to their prior races and see what our projected pace looks like relative to the horse's best performances. So 85% chance roughly that Whiskey Prize is going to get a pace today that mirrors its best performances. Put it right in its comfort zone. As far as our pace handicapping is concerned, Terry, pretty balanced race in here. Again, you got a couple of Sesame Street horses. Pay more attention to either the lone speed or your versatile types, the 4, the 1, and the 2. The 4 gets the lead. He's going to be happy up in there. First Money may not have the lead. The 3 and the 5, you got that closer over there, Carnivore, with some early speed. Those late pace horses with the ability to get forward, they tend to do pretty well. Eddie Mush will be coming the hardest at the end, but he's going to give up about 2.5 lengths. Only has about a length and a half advantage at the end. He does grade out as the second best total pace horse, with Whiskey Prize getting the top prize at the lone PC. Terry, who's your winner?
Well, I like Carnivore. The 5 drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 27% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes, and best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter, has a high percentage winning jockey. The 4 First Money is my second choice. He's won 2 races out of 6 starts at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning jockey. Whiskey Prize, the 2, is my third choice, ran the second versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Major Cam, the 6, is my third long shot. He finished the money in 2 out of the last 3 races, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches the high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the 3rd Miami Vice, pick 4. And for Don Johnson, it's a 4-5 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, with the 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and finish up with the 210, $50 exact pick 4.
You can forgive the win in the last race. Some of his Tampa races were not bad in Jay's Delight. Yeah. Again, a race I feel like is kind of open. You got a lot of pace in here. A lot of horses should catch a pace that they're comfortable with. A trio of them with some par plus scores. You see a lot of horses with some odds that kind of fit where the morning line is. I'm going to go with Whiskey Prize. As I visualize out this race, I think the horse sits second or third and then has enough late legs then to beat the closers to the finish line. Number 4, First Money, is the second choice for me. Third up, off the layoff. Record says it'll be better than that last race was. And this horse is going to run at the lowest level of its career. And when I read through the race notes at the end of the night to look at what the winner's race notes look like, lowest race of its career shows up a lot. Number 5, Carnivore, that is your heavy early morning line favorite. This one's running at the lowest level in its last 10 races. Going to be forward against this field. And then finally, number 6, Major Cam. Been regressing, which I'm not a big fan of, but did show some signs of life in its last race with better fractions. So maybe we'll see continued improvement today. Pick 4 for me, 2, 4, 5 with the 4, 6. with the 1, 2, 3, 9, with the 2, 4, 7, and 10. Again, that $48 ticket for me. How long do we have to race number 2, Terry?
5 minutes.
So we have plenty of time to do race number 7.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Well, we have more than plenty of time because race number 7 is another one of these with a bunch of first timers.
Yep. It's a second 4.5 furlong maiden, $42,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds.
Yeah, so pay attention to the other 4.5 furlong race with all the bunch of first-time starters in there. I think that was race number 3, if I remember correctly. Yes, indeed it was. So that'll be the first one at 4.5 furlongs. I would imagine at 4.5 furlongs, you got that early turn right there. I mean, I don't know this to be true because I haven't done it before, but I would suspect if you can get to that turn first, you got a pretty good shot to win that race. If you got some speed on the inside, you probably have a pretty good shot to win that race. We don't know how that's going to play off because none of them have started before, so we have no sense of what that early speed is going to look like. So once again, the only thing we got is pen, paper, a little bit of intuition, some handicapping experience, and some picks.
Yep, they're all first-time starters, and the sire for Baby Duke's my first choice. The 4 won 16% of the time first-time starters. The Dam has a winner from 1 starter, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 5, my second choice, another first-time starter whose Dam has 1 winner from 2 starters and a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 6, Play the Gray, is the third choice. The sire wins 17% of the time first-time starters. The Dam has 1 winner from 3 starters, and he has also a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then the 1, High and Goes, my long shot, his Dam has 5 winners from 5 starters, and the breeding suits today's distance. No additional bets here for me.
If Baby Dukes runs through his works, should win this race pretty easy. Yeah. I look at that too. Scary Creations. Again, I do the 3-point ranking, and Baby Dukes gets all 3 points, right? The trainer wins at first-time starter, Robert Reed, 27%. I'm looking for a number at 11. That's the minimum I'm looking for. Scores on that regard. Mama makes winners. Mama does make winners. So does Daddy. So the breeding is there as well. And then looking for those workouts where you have, here you got a great workout right there. That's probably the one that Scary's alluding to. But I'm looking for that 4 furlongs, right? 4. I don't really pay much attention to the 3 times 12. So that equals 48. So anything near 48, and there you go. You got 2 of them. So it scores 3 out of 3. I thought about singling this horse, to be honest with you, because just from the breeding, the trainer, and the workouts, Scary Creations, you're right. This one should be your winner. If not, the 6 horse is next for me. Play the Gray. It's not raining, though. So, but it gets 2.7 points. After Play the Gray, I have, let me see, I could have 3 and then 5. So then the 3 horse, that one's getting 2.6. And then the 5 horse, 2.4 out of 3. So that's how I go about grading first-time starters. They're all first-time starters. I agree with you, Scary Creations. If the 4 runs to anything from the trainer, from the breeding to the workouts, should be your winner. But I threw the 6 in there, Play the Gray, because that's an old adage at the track that always proves to be true. Although it doesn't look like there's going to be any rain today, Terry, because the sun has come out. Before we move on to race number 7, because they're kind of strolling around getting their way to the gate. Again, remember, free picks today at Thistle Downs. There is a link in the description down below. Kindly go about using that so they know where it is that you came from. Again, go over to horseracingtoday.net when Terry and I are done. We'll post all of our race notes, a copy of the video, and you'll find that at horseracingtoday.net. And you'll also find a link for HRT gear. You'll see that you can get a great Horse Racing Today baseball cap or a shirt with like aprons, a red shirt with the number 1 on the back. You can personalize them. A lot of things you can do with that. It's a great way to support the show. Another great way to support the show, Terry, is to do what if you haven't done so already?
Subscribe to YouTube and hit that little bell so you're notified whenever there's a program coming up. And then also go down and copy the link and share it with all your friends, relatives, everybody you know, so they can come and check us out. Go to our Facebook places, not Facebook, or go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and X, and put in at Horse Day, the number 2 day, horse rate day.
Horse race today.
Yeah, I'm getting all screwed up today. I don't know why. But anyway, and give us likes and thumbs up, please.
Yes,
That
horse
helps.
race, the number 2 day. If you're watching on Twitter, kindly retweet so other folks can join in on us, as well as follow us if you haven't done so already. And then on Facebook, we're in the penalty box, for doing nothing wrong, but you can't. Once they put you in the penalty box, there's no objecting, even if their own internal team says, "Oh, we made a mistake." So I don't know how that works, but that's apparently how that works. So please kindly do that. We would greatly appreciate it. So right now, the 4 horse is your 4 to 5 favorite. The 1 horse, Old Head, is the second choice at 3 to 2. Those are your 2 predominant favorites. Then you have the 3 horse, Bella, at 5 to 1. The 5 horse, Agna, at 6 to 1. And I don't think if you've got that 7 horse, you kind of jumped up at the start there. The 4 horse has gotten to the lead as we projected it would. Shizelino got about a little bit more than a length lead on the Old Head. The question is, what are the fractions going to look like? Both of them are even money. The 5 horse right now sitting in third, and Agna. Not as many horses in this one, Scary Creation, so it's a little bit easier for me to keep track of them. The 3 horse down on the rail, the 7, the one that kind of popped at the lead, ran an opening quarter in 23 and 2. Looks like the 1 horse is going to go up and challenge the 4 horse now and probably run right by it. And that looks like that's going to be the case. Be kind of difficult. You don't usually see horses come back off that, but so the 1 horse is going to be an easy winner. Then the 5 horse looks like it could go by the 4 horse. So my pick 4 kind of done in that mix. The Old Head at 1 to 1, the one that caught that late money, is going to be your winner. It's going to be your winner by a lot. Then the 5 horse is going to work its way into second race, but it is kind of closing in, but too much ground to make up on that 1 horse. It's going to go 1, then 5. Then I think the 4 horse will maintain its third position. So 1, 5, 4, 7, the one that hopped at the end there, giving the 4th place finish. So Terry's alive on his pick 4. Unfortunately, I am not, but so be it. Plenty more opportunities to get a pick 4 right. So we're at race number 8. Speaking of pick 4s, that is the late pick 4, Mr. Terry. So in race number 8, what are they going to run for?
Okay, we're going to go back out to 1 mile and 70 yards, and it's an optional claiming race, $40,000 claiming price. Purse is $52,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races other than a maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred, or which have not won 3 races other or a claiming price of $40,000.
So at 1 mile and 70 yards, the kind of horse that usually wins is a horse that is fast at the beginning, middle forward, 42% taking the field from go all the way to get in a photo. It's a rail penalty for margin of error. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 a small discount. 8 and out, they get a bonus as well. Our simulations tell us, Terry, that a couple of horses probably compete for the lead.
That's right. It looks like that 1 and that 9 are the most likely horses to try to get out there to that lead. And then, so they could go head to head because they're pretty close in their speed numbers. And then the 1 has an overlay from about 7 to 5, 3 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 6 to 1. 1 has the most, the best par plus, although several of them have some par plus number. All but the 3 show C zones.
So yeah, 5,690 times in our 10,000 times margin of error, producing a speed figure of at least 94. That's a pretty good one in here. So that's a pretty solid race in here for optional claiming 40,000. Our trip handicapping for the 8th race is going to let us know that everybody wants to be middle forward. So this one could get hot, be the speed of the speed, or have a little bit of late energy at the end. It does look like the 9 horse is the speed of the speed, though a lot of stuff to its inside with some similar numbers. Really going to have to work to get to the front unless everybody else decides to take a little bit of a breather. My Redemption, a little bit quicker than the margin of error at the end of the race. Thirsty Pappy, that one, if we can bet which one will come in last, that might be it, because it'll be towards the back early and then get tired at the end. Our top total pace horse in here is Laytown. 1 point quicker than margin of error, a few points quicker than Eloquist. But again, not a big difference between all of these horses here. A bump, a block, a wide trip could be the difference between finishing first and maybe second to last. Terry, you think that 9 horse is going to clear and get to the lead and hang on?
I do, because this horse is very competitive, is finished in the money in 10 out of the last 10 races. He won 4 of those races, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The one, Margin of Error, is my second choice. He ran second in his last race as a favorite, but the trainer wins 30% of the time when bringing back a beaten favorite, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Road Trip to Nowhere is the 3, is my third choice. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Thirsty Peppy, the 6, is my long shot. He likes this track. He's been in the money 100% of the time and won 57% of those races, and he's finished in the money 100% of the time and won 60% of the races at today's distance. And then my last pick 4, Miami Vice Don Johnson, is the 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 with the 10 singled, with the 2, 3, 4, 11, with finishing up with the 2, 7, 8, 10, 11. That's another $50 pick 4.
I'm going to go with the 1 horse on the inside. I think the 9 might have to work a bit too hard. It was pretty much a flip of a coin for me on that one. But at its best, this one is the winner, making its third start after a layoff. Did run some better fractions and better pace numbers in its last race. Lake Town, you can't argue with its Parx success in the money, 11 out of 12, 4 wins, 4 seconds, 3/3. That's a pretty good outing for the track there. I like the work pattern prepping for its first race since April. Eloquist, the 2 horse. This one really scares me a little bit because it loves the distance. 8 times out, 4 wins, and a second. Did run faster fractions despite going a little bit longer last time out. Road Trip to Nowhere, highly consistent horse in here, Terry, with the most upside. Only reason this one didn't get a higher grade for me is because the first race after a layoff is kind of spotty. I'm going to do a pick 4, 1, 2, 9. Maybe you should just single a 3, because anytime I lose a pick 4, it's usually the horse right after my picks that wins, like we saw in that last race. But everybody's got decisions to make. That's the decision I made with the 2, 7, 10. With the 3, 11, 14, and then the 7, 10, 11. So 3 by 3 by 3 in a bunch of races that I think a lot of horses could win to close out the day at Parx. Race number 9, I believe, is one of 2 stakes races today, Terry. It is indeed. Tell us about the Power by Far Stakes.
Well, it's the first turf race. It's 5 furlong, and it's a purse of $100,000 for registered Pennsylvania-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, so in the last race, Scary Creations were tougher. Yeah, they all have races that could win. I agree. Take the 10 Classic Union. Last September, he beat Lake Town by about 9 lengths at Parx. That's a big win over there. So keep that in mind. Neither one of us had that 10 in our picks.
No, it's hard. You got a budget. I would have liked to win all in that race, but
Scary just wants to throw like the grenade into our picks. Like pull the pin. All right, Terry Rich, there's your pick 4. Watch this.
Yeah, and it explodes a lot of times.
So at 5 furlongs on the turf, you mentioned it's the first turf race. They've only run 2 of them so far at this 9 furlongs. One of them ran the co-pilot position. The other one was a closer. So those 2 first races don't really give you a clue. One of them won from the rail. One of them won from 4 through 7. So it doesn't look like post position is really all that detrimental one way or the other, or influential. I'd imagine still short sprint races, you probably want to have some speed, Terry. And again, a lot of them showing some gas when the gates open.
Yeah, that 4 shows the most speed, followed up by the 1 and the 7. And then the 4 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 10 to 1. And 7 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 9 to 2. The 10, 7, and 4 show the par plus numbers. And all but the 11 show C zones, although that 8's pretty low.
Our trip for this deep field, all this wants to be up front. 2, 4, 7, 6, 10, and 11. They really want to get after the Jets. The 5 and 12 could actually have the race shape advantage, letting all these guys burn one another out. They're flexible enough if they go slow to move forward. If they go too fast, certainly have the ability to kind of hang off the pace. The 3 is your only Sesame Street horse. So if all of these horses decide to burn some jet fuel early, the 3 could be the most in the most advantageous position. Early speed does belong to Midnight in Alaska, the 4-horse with some stakes level early jets. So that one can get to the lead. Could grow in confidence. Doesn't look like its late pace numbers are all that far off, although Shoshana, the 2-horse, is going to be right on its tail, if not to the inside on a lead by a nose. Always Mia, the 12, that PC horse. Ooh, man, look out for that one. It's going to be right off the pace. A little bit of late legs. Again, a lot of flexibility with that 12 horse. Don't look back at all. Probably a good idea. That one has your most total pace in here, though. Again, you have, with the exception of the 3-8 Danzas, everybody within 12 lengths with a deep field, quick turns. You can get forced wide. You can be bumped. A lot of things can happen to make a 2-length differential here, Terry. Somehow we agreed on the top 3 horses.
Well, the 10, Don't Look Back at All, is my pick of the day at the Parx Racing. She's had 3 wins and 3 seconds in her last 6 starts. Her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Marks lots of boxes. The 2, Shoshana, I guess that's how you pronounce it. She ran second in her last race. Her best dirt speed is close to the average winning speed, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. The 7, my third choice, Disco Ebo, has won 3 races out of the last 7 starts and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Princess Runaway, the 6, is my long shot. She has won 3 races out of the last 4 starts and has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet $5 to win on the 5 and a $1 exacta, 10 on top with the 1 with the 2-7.
You sure you want the 2? Yeah, because 2-7. You had the 1. You had a.
Yeah, I
you had the 3 there. Yeah, so let me go ahead and change
didn't change it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have the same 3 on top. The 10 horse. I think Irad's coming in to ride this one. I think he might pick up another mount later on. I didn't see because there was no rider, and Irad will be the best jockey available. This one is a track dropper for sure. Solid first up record, but it's going to be a heavy favorite, I feel like, with Irad on there. Shoshana, the 2nd. Last time out at Pimlico, ran second to a horse by the name of Future Is Now. Future Is Now came back to win a grade 2 at Saratoga, so maybe a key race. Number 7, Disco Eba, the only horse in its last 10 starts with a speed figure of triple digits, although a couple of other have hit that prior to that. She can run back to that level. She can win this race. Midnight in Alaska. This one's making its first start on the grass. Does have that early giddy up and go. And if she carries the lead into the stretch, becomes really bold and very difficult to pass. No bets for me in race number 9. Race 10 begins the late daily double. It is another stakes race in here, Terry. So in race 10, they're running for a lot of money in the Cloud Peaser Stakes, but what are they running for? What are they running on?
It's a second race on a turf, but it stretches out to 1 mile and 16th, and it's a $100,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania breds 3-year-olds.
And you see here, look at this. They're starting to shoot right here. That's kind of a gradual turn. So you got to think these horses out here have a shot, a more straight line to get themselves up and running and around that turn right there. So I would imagine that getting yourself in position in that shoot is really important in getting to the finish line first. So we look at the profile of a winner at 1 mile and 16th on the turf. They run 5 of them. One of them, which went wire to wire. The others were closers. None won from the rail. 2 through 7 played under par. And he's, again, as you can kind of draw out here, 8 and out, by far the best. So those outside horses with a really good shot to get, because they got that straight line to the main track right there. Early speed, Terry, not all that important in race number 10. And, well, Party at Sam's doesn't agree with that assessment, though.
That's right. Well, there's 11 has the most speed, followed up by that 3. So you got an inside and an outside horse. The 3 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to 7 to 2. The 7 has an overlay from 6 to 1 to 8 to 1. And the 10 has an overlay from almost 3 to 1 to 8 to 1. 3 has the best par plus number by far, although 10, 7, and 2 also come in there with some good par numbers. And then all of them show some kind of a C zone, and they're all fairly decent.
Yeah, typically we want them to be over 50%, though. It means that, good chance that the horse is going to get a pace it's comfortable with today. In the 10th race, most of these horses want to be middle back. 10 horse with a little bit of flexibility can be pilot or co-pilot. The 11 is the one that wants to set the tone. Does look like the 11 will indeed get the chance to set the tone, with Maximus Meridius sitting in that pressure position where it wants to be. It's a little bit faster than everybody else. As you look at the late legs, there's really one horse time tested that has a lot more late speed than the rest, 14 in there. Closing position probably needs a little bit more in the beginning of the race to utilize its late speed, although you might see that happen. Party at Sam's and Maximus Meridius, two horses that should be close to the pace. They're 7 points clear of Heavy Pour and Capo. So those two horses right there, Terry, from a total pace standpoint, maybe you just put those two in exacta and call it a day. How did you call it?
All right. Well, I like in this race Maximus I can't say that word. Meridius. That's right. The 3 horse drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 22% of the non-graded stakes he has a horse in. And the 11 parties at Sam's. It's the 11 horse finished in the money in 6 out of the last 7 races, winning 2 of the races. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 2 is my third choice, ran third in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, switches the highest percentage winning jockey. The 4 is a long shot, Heavy Pour. He ran third in his last race. His breeding suggests he'll like the grass, and he has a bullet workout on June 10th. I have no more money left, so I can't make any other bets.
So Travieso, the 1 horse, the Scary Creations. Again, remember, keep an eye on when Scary gives you a couple of them. They gave you a 10 horse now and the 1 horse here. Some nice prices on both of those. We'll see if indeed that one can finish off this race, an easier one than the last one. And 3 horse kind of gets the nod for me too at the 11, though I do think this race is wide open. The question for the grade 1 dropper here is the turf, but his off record. So you see it's one of the things I like to pay attention to horses that have not run on the turf before is how did they run on an off track or an all-weather track. Horse's best work was on an off track. So usually that translates to a horse that does okay, or if not, take 2 turf. No rider here, so I'd expect to see any idea who's on that horse yet, Terry, or no? Can you look to see and let's look in the if they've posted that yet in race number 10, who's riding the 3 horse? It looks like they still haven't named a jockey yet. So I would suspect that you're probably going to see the most likely winner won't go near 7-2 on him. If I ride a horse, maybe 1-5. Yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of thinking, that Irad jumps on him. I didn't see Paco's name on a horse either, and I know he rides a lot for Robert Reed as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one of those two, either one of which is going to get the backing of the bettors. The 11 horse, that longer shot at 12-1, Terry, best work comes when it's on the lead. It's exactly where the 11 horse is going to be today. I'm going to go with the 14 because I'm curious what other folks think about this horse. Horse hasn't won yet. Finished 5th last time out at maiden claiming 30,000, and yet finds its way into a $100,000 stakes race today for a trainer that's kind of on it. So that's pretty interesting to me. You like the 7, Sharp Tones with the 11 and 2 for Christopher D'Souza, another with some great insights and picks. If you have some picks like Scary or Christopher, no matter what track it is you're looking at today, please share them with us. But that 14 horse, last time out, first time on the grass, did have a little bit of a struggle at the beginning of the race. But man, did it show some incredible late speed on the turf. So I think the second turf race, the second race off of the bench, offers a lot of interesting opportunities. And one thing we've learned over time is trainers, when they have them listed as also eligibles, they put them in there for a reason. Let's see if there's a 30-1 reason why Time Tested got put in there with that incredible late speed. And then the 10 horse for me is my final choice. That one is Capo. Horse is making its first start on the grass, should stalk this field, and has the late pace to close it out. Again, a lot of question marks for a $1,000 graded stakes. You have a jockeyless horse, one that hasn't won a race. A lot of horses going to give it a go for the first time on grass. Only 5 races kind of to test the biases. So I don't know. To me, that's one of the races I'm looking forward to the most. The last race of the day, if you're alive on any of the pick 4, pick 5, pick 6 stuff, will be one that you're looking forward to, especially if you're live. Terry, in race number 11, share with us the conditions.
It's a mile and 16th, claiming race 15,000, purse 28,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since March 24th. Claiming races for 12,500 or less, not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
And at $1.16 on the main track, yeah, long race doesn't matter. Speed still is the way to get to the winner's circle with the full 38% winning wire to wire. A little bit of a rail bonus, but Afraid of the Bunny is not going to be in the mix. So Midnight Act could get that additional boost. 2 and 3 play under par. 4 through 7 fair. 8 and out get discounted as well. In the final race of the day, Terry, speed will be a determining factor. And with the 1 horse scratching out, it sure looks like 1's got a lot more than the rest.
Yeah, that 5 shows a lot of speed, although there's some others with some small amount of speed there. But the 5 also has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 10 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 7 to 2. All but the 2, 3, and 4 show some kind of par plus numbers, and all but the 8 has C zones.
And then looking at the green go potential here with Divine Miracle. Green, 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 and green. All good numbers in there. Our trip handicapping, again, everybody wants to be middle back. That could be very favorable to the 7 and 5, 2 horses that want to be forward, where the speed does have an impact on the race. Divine Miracle, strong speed, strong late speed as well. And their Moondog going to be in that mix too. Looking at your top late speed horse, that's Divine Miracle. Oh my gosh, sometimes you can't pass what you can't catch, Terry. And that's kind of where Divine Miracle is. That one's 8 points clear of Jara Lane. 5 horse might be a runaway winner, Terry. I have him in 4th, and you ain't got him at all.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know why. I really don't. But I like that 11. It's a game time. He's won 3 out of the last 4 races at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 10 Secret Path won his last race by 9 lengths at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning jockey, Paco Lopez. Jarlian, the 8 is my 3rd choice. He likes Parx Racing. He's been in the money 48% of the races that he's done here, 18% wins. And the distance won't be a problem as he's finished in the money 62% of the time, winning 25% of those races. The 7 Moondog is my long shot. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. So
I just did some unintentional editing in there right there. All 1 eye the 4. All right. So eye the 4 in this race trending up from Eleanor Carrion. Thank you for the insight there. Indeed. So good. I like it twice. My problem with the 5 Divine Miracle is claimed by a winless trainer from a high percentage trainer. If you get 8 to 1 worth a shot, if he's bet down, not sure. That was my hesitation too, why I put it 4th instead of higher up. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot, a little bit of a chance right here with this 7 horse Moondog. He came back from more than a year off in its last race and stumbled at the start, then kind of battled on, gave up a little bit. And then they said he fought on, right? Showed a ton of heart, came again. I like horses that show a ton of heart. This horse does have triple-digit speed figure ability. I think the horse improves in the second start after more than a year. If it doesn't stumble, it might not have to come again. It's game time. The 11 horse, faster by more than a second in its last race. That's usually an indication of a horse coming into peak form. Secret Path, I think those 2 are likely to be your top choices, the 11 and the 10 in here. Crushed in its last race with Paco, who rides again. And then the 5 horse does have a couple of boxes that it checks for me. It upped its speed figure in the last 3 races, according to Barry Meadows and all of his research. That angle wins at least 15% of the time. Wanted to rank him higher, but as Scary pointed out, that barn boy 0 for 17 on the year. Maybe this is the one that makes the O go, but until that O goes, I can't go on the top of a ticket with a horse, although I do believe it's in my pick 4 at the end. That wraps up all of our picks for today at Parx. Here are our total selections. In race number 1, it went, I think, 9-7-5, so almost reverse order. Then the 1 horse won the 2nd race. Terry's pick 4, staying alive. Mine dying on the vine with the 4 horse fading at the end because I singled that one up. And then here you can see what we have for the rest of the day. A lot of different colors in there. Terry, I don't think you have the same color twice all the way down after the third race. So, the 4-horse. So if the 4 wins, could be okay day for the both of us. We'll be back again tomorrow for Parx, Terry. No idea how many races there are tomorrow. I'll get to
12.
that tonight when I'm getting to 12 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, we better get up early. And we'll start that again, same time, approximately 20 minutes before the first post at Parx tomorrow. Wednesday, we'll do Churchill Downs, and Thursday, we'll probably do Belmont at Aqueduct, at least until Saratoga gets started. And then we'll do as much Saratoga and Del Mar as we can when those 2 tracks hit the circuits. Again, the Cura on Friday. Free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet today for Thistle Downs. There is a link in the description below. In just a few minutes, we'll post all of our commentary and a recap over at horseracingtoday.net. Make sure you head on over there. Hit the HRT gear. Get yourself some Horse Racing Today items to support the show. And then I think there was something else I wanted to bring up, but I forgot, Terry, what it is, so can't be all that important. Any final thoughts from you before we get up and get out of here?
Yeah, just go ahead and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't done so, and hit the little bell, and then also copy the link and share it with everybody you know so they come to see us. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, and Threads at the horse race. The number 2 day gives us a thumbs up and a likes. We'd really appreciate it. It really helps us out. And have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, no matter what it is you're doing today, make sure you treat people like you want to be treated. And we hope that all your endeavors have God's grace, God's favors, all your picks, and everything that you do today ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, indeed. We'll see you tomorrow for round 2 and 12 dozen races at Parx. Ooh. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I got $7 left. Now I remember. In race number 11, I want to put my money on the 7 to win, Terry. Just because I feel like that's so I have $7 left? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. All right. So that's part. There's another thing I wanted to do, but I can't remember. All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2 at Parx. Till then, make it a great Money Monday.